in order to fill in some of the gaps. Now, listeners, are you ready for a mystery story? Oh, very, very good. This mystery story is called The Magician. Long ago, in a small city, there was a magician, James the Magnificent. Now, James was well known for his art of illusion, and he was a fraud. He had no actual magic powers, but through observation, he was able to tap into the minds of the people who watched. That particular night, the crowd gave him a standing ovation. He did card tricks and mentalism. But a woman stayed behind. She was dressed in all black, and how should we describe her, listeners? What did she look like? Is there some way for us to describe her? You can conjure anything. Oh, yes. Her eyes were as dark as the blackest coffee. She had You're right. No. You were very right. She had this vibe about her. She was very unique. She looked like she was from a coastal town, not from here, not from nearby at all. Her eyes streamed with... No, it's not. Tears. With salty tears. Oh, she was very upset. Now she said to James, James, I need your help. You see, I am being haunted by a terrible ghost. Will you please use your magician's powers, and can you come and see if you can make it go away? Now, James did not believe in the supernatural. He knew better than that. But he did see a way for him to get some extra coin, some extra money. All he had to do was to soothe this woman's emotions. So he agreed to go with her. He went to her house by the sea. It was very dark, and oh dear. There was something out front. There was something out front of the door that gave him a little bit of a shiver down his spine. Yes? He saw a dog. Now this dog had the most sullen eyes. The eyes of this dog peered directly into his soul. He was terrified of this dog, and he refused to go into the gate until this woman was able to shoo him away. The woman shooed the dog away, and out the dog went down the street. Shoo, dog, shoo. Now, she told him that the ghost, most of the time, would scratch at her bedroom door. So he was going to stay the night in her bedroom and see if he felt the same thing and heard the same noise. He laid in her bed and began to have a dream. The dream was calming, and suddenly he heard scratch, 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 scratch at the door. I don't know, listeners, should he go and open the door? Should he look at where the scratching was coming from? Oh, you are very brave. He opened the door and there was nothing there. But something had to be scratching the door. Some logical explanation. He looked around and opened the other door. Nothing was there. He went out front into the yard and, oh dear, the dog was there, staring directly into his soul. The dog had something in his mouth. What did the dog have in his mouth? What was it? Something that was going to help him. Oh, it was a light. He had a lantern in his mouth. Oh, that's unusual. The dog dropped the lantern at his feet. Now, James could pick up the lantern and follow the dog, or he can go back to bed. What say you? Should he go back to bed? No. He should follow the... Oh, you're right. He picked up the lantern and kept his distance from that dog and followed the dog down to the beach, past the cliffside. It was very dark, but he could still see the moon shining on the waves. The dog howled at the ocean. He lifted up his lantern, and there he saw bones. But he couldn't make out what kind of bones. It could have been a femur or a rib. He's not a man of science, but there were definitely bones there. He took off his jacket, placed the bones inside of his jacket, and scooped them up and brought them back up to the cliffside. There he saw the woman who had hired him to get rid of the ghost. She didn't seem very happy that he had found bones. In fact, her face was kind of cross. I can't put my words into mind. What was she? Is there anything around that we can describe her with? Very mysterious, but there's something about her. What was it? Yes? Oh, I did. There's something very concrete about her. She was hiding something. Just like that, yes. But he couldn't place it. He tried to understand her and what she could possibly be hiding, but he would make a note of it. Yes. The dog was gone, and now he had a jacket full of bones. Because he did not know if they were animal or human, he thought it best to call the police. Do you think he should call the police? You say yes? You say yes? He called the police. The police came by and inspected the bones, and the bones were indeed human. Oh dear. Yes, he almost fainted himself. But the most unusual thing about this woman that he hired is that she did not seem surprised that they were human bones. When the police interrogated her, oh dear, they found out that her husband had gone missing. Her husband was missing for 6 months. She claimed that it was after a long walk with the dog. Do you believe her? Listeners, I don't know if I do. Well, without proof, there's nothing we can do. Oh dear. The magician said that he couldn't help her, but hopes that whatever ghost would stop bothering her, and that he would stay in the inn close by in case any of his magic feelings or premonitions came to light. That night, as he lay in the inn after having lots of mead, he had a dream. This dream suddenly turned into a nightmare, and in this nightmare, spinning out of blue smoke, he saw a vision. What was this vision, listeners? Our magician began to dream. He heard the howling of a wolf. He heard the waves crashing on the shore. And yes, something appeared in the mist. A boat, shining back and forth. A boat on fire. And an arrow shooting across the sky. What could all of this mean? Suddenly, he woke up. He heard outside of his door, scratch, 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 scratch. What's that scratching noise? It's the same noise that he heard when he was at the woman's house. When he opened the door, nothing was there. He went outside and, oh, you're not going to believe this, listeners, the dog was back. The dog with the sullen eyes. And again, in his mouth, he held the light. He followed the dog once more, down the cliffside to the ocean, where he found a wreck of a boat. Inside of the wreckage of the boat, he saw that the door to the hall had been nailed from the outside. Oh, listeners. Oh, dear. Do you think somebody might have murdered that poor woman's husband? put him into a boat and cast him out to sea. That's what it's looking like. All right, he went to the cops once more and he told them exactly what he had found. They went down to the boat. When they opened and pried open the door, they found the rest of the bones. It was indeed the woman's husband. Not only had the door been nailed from the outside, but the boat had been lit on fire. Whoever did this did not want this man to survive. But who could have done it? I think we all have our suspicions. He went to confront her. Yes, you know, listener, you know. He went by himself to confront her. And there she sat in her room, sullen eyes with her soul as dark as coffee. And she looked at him and she said, oh, she admitted it. She said that she had killed her husband. And she should have killed the dog too. And suddenly, she leapt up from her bedside, and she grabbed... What did she grab? She grabbed something. Oh, listeners, she grabbed something. Oh, she grabbed a knife! She grabbed a knife, and she lunged after James the magician, lunged after him. But oh, the dog leaped in from the window, and scratch, scratch, scratch at her throat, bit her right in the throat, protecting James. Oh. The dog howled, and scratched. Yes, just like that. Get him! Oh, she screamed, and she ran out into the night. The dog looked at James the magician and howled once more, snuck its chin under James's hand, looking into his eyes. A pitiful thank you for finding out the truth about his master. Oh, little dog. Should James keep the dog? I think that's what the dog is asking. What do you think? Do you think so? Yes. James decided to keep this little dog and would put this dog into his magical... Now, James did not believe in the supernatural until the fire went crack, 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 just like that, and smoke came up. And he heard a voice. Thank you. It was a man's voice, thanking him from beyond, thanking his dog, Bruno, thanking James the magician for solving his heinous murder. Now, James the magician decided that he would take Bruno with him, and they would continue to hunt down mysteries together. The end. Well done, listeners. We solved that mystery because of each and every one of you, and you did shepherd that soul into the great beyond. Oh, I'm so glad that you believed in Bruno, the dog, and you didn't turn him away. That could have been quite a different story, I feel. Well done, each and every one of you, for your contributions. I'm very, very proud of you. Well done. I was a little scared there for a moment. I'm actually terrified of the beach. Now, when I first started getting myself into radio programming, there was an electrical storm. And since we were near the water, the flood, well, I will bother you with that a different time. This story was brought to you by Time Boat. Remember, one mask, one ride. Well done. This is Martha Deddingstone signing off. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Oh, I'm very proud of you. Yes, snaps all around, snaps all around. This is Martha Deddingstone signing off. Congratulations, my love. Bye-bye.